Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something a little different. We're getting into the ultimate hands-free experience.
That's right.
We're talking about controlling a high-tech drone, the DJI Neo 2, with absolutely nothing but your body and the buttons on the aircraft itself.
Forget the remote, forget the smartphone.
Exactly. This is all about turning that drone into, your own autonomous flying camera crew.
And our mission today is really to give you the shortcut to mastering this specific screenless way of flying. We're going to assume you've already done the initial setup stuff in the DJI Fly app.
Right, like enabling gesture control.
Exactly. We are focusing completely on the interaction. How you take off from your palm, how you land, how you pick cinematic modes using just the drone's buttons, and then how you direct it in midair with your hands.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the whole philosophy here is just fascinating. It's all about speed, about spontaneity.
It is.
But before we even get it in the air, we have to talk about the main trade-off of this hands-free mode. When you ditch the controller, you're accepting a pretty big limit on its vertical performance.
That's right. The maximum flight altitude is strictly capped at 60 meters.
60 meters.
And, this is important, you cannot override that. Not in the app, not anywhere, when you're operating this way.
Okay, so 60 meters is, about 200 feet? Still high, but it's way less than the drone can actually do with a full remote. Why that specific number?
It's almost certainly tied to safety and regulatory assumptions. When the pilot isn't looking at a controller screen, the system just assumes you need to maintain continuous visual line of sight.
I see. So it's trying to keep you from accidentally losing it or flying into, say, restricted airspace without realizing.
Precisely. It minimizes that risk.
It's a design choice that really prioritizes simplicity over, maximum range. But here's the twist we found.
Oh, yes.
While that vertical ceiling is locked, the maximum horizontal flight distance is not limited.
It's a really interesting contrast, isn't it?
It's huge. You get this massive horizontal freedom, but you're forced to think creatively inside this very specific vertical box. So that's where we need to start, getting it airborne.
So palm control is the mode that makes this whole thing work. But the protocol is strict. The traditional remote and any goggles have to be completely powered off.
That's the signal to the drone.
That's the signal. It tells the Neo 2 that you're expecting direct, close-range interaction.
Okay, so let's walk through the actual palm takeoff, because this is the moment, where you're up close and personal with spinning blades.
It can be a little tense the first time.
So first, you hold the drone securely, gripping the sides of the body from underneath.
And we have to stress this. Make sure your fingers are nowhere near the propellers. I mean, it sounds obvious, but a moment of inattention is all it takes.
Totally agree. Safety first. So you got that firm grip, you make sure the camera is facing the subject. And for these automated modes, the system is only looking for people.
Right. Only people are supported for the smart snaps.
Then you extend your arm out steadily and press and hold the takeoff button right there on the drone.
Holding that button triggers the voice prompt. It's in English or Mandarin, and it starts a countdown.
That audio cue is vital, right?
Absolutely. It's your confirmation that the launch sequence is a go. And if you feel like your grip isn't right, or you just change your mind, you can press the button again, and it cancels the whole thing.
And once it launches, it doesn't just hover there. It has this programmed safety behavior. It flies backward a little bit.
It does. It moves back just a short distance to make sure it has clear airspace, away from the person who just launched it. A really smart way to prevent any accidental bumps right at the start.
It speaks to the autonomy. It assumes you're the target and immediately creates that safe distance.
Exactly.
So, okay, we've launched it. It's hovering a few meters away. Now we want to get that cinematic shot. This is where smart snaps come in.
Right. These are your preset automated flight paths. They capture a short, really dynamic video clip without you having to do any of the flying.
But we need to access and adjust these shots using only the drone's physical buttons.
This is where the drone really becomes more than just a camera. After you power it on, it defaults to follow mode, which is a great starting point.
Just basic tracking.
Yes, but to get to the others, like droney or circle, you use the physical select button on the drone. Each press cycles through the available modes.
And how do you know what you've selected?
The drone actually announces it with a voice prompt, and there's a small screen on top that confirms the selection too.
Okay, selection sounds easy enough, but these shots often need tweaking. Maybe I want the circle shot to be wider, or the droney to fly out further. How do I adjust parameters like distance or speed if my phone's in my pocket?
That's a great question, and it does sound a bit fiddly, but it's designed for speed. It's a two-step button combo you have to memorize.
Okay.
To get into the settings, you press and hold the select button for about 2 seconds. The little screen on top will start flashing the item you can adjust.
So the flashing item is my cursor, basically.
You can think of it that way, yes. Then, to adjust it, a quick press of that same select button changes the value, makes the circle wider or the drone shot higher.
What if there's more than one thing to adjust?
Then you press and hold the select button again and it moves to the next setting. It forces you to be very deliberate with your inputs.
It sounds like setting the time on an old digital watch. Hold one button to get in the menu, tap another to change the numbers.
That is a perfect analogy.
So once I'm happy with my settings, how do I lock it in?
You just press the takeoff button once, that saves everything and exits the menu. Your cinematic shot is now locked and loaded.
And from there, as long as it has a person locked on as the subject, the Neo 2 just does its thing.
It flies the path, records the clip, completely automatically. It takes the entire burden of flight control right off your shoulders.
That's the perfect transition, because once it's doing its thing, say, orbiting me in a circle shot, I might see something I want to change, but I can't stop the shot. This brings us to the mid-air director, gesture control.
This is where the magic really happens.
I think so too. This lets you influence the drone while it's already running an autonomous sequence.
And it's important to note, it allows the currently followed subject to make these adjustments. So the person being filmed is also the one directing the camera. And of course, this has to be enabled in the app beforehand.
Here's where it gets really interesting. There are 4 specific hand gestures to master. First, how do you even tell the drone, hey, I'm taking over?
You just raise your open palm towards the camera lens.
That's it.
That's it. You'll see the status indicator light on the drone turn a solid blue. That blue light is your confirmation. It's the drone saying, I see your hand, I'm ready for commands.
Okay, so the light is solid blue. The second gesture set is for directional movement.
And this is the most intuitive part. You just move that open palm up, down, left, or right, and the aircraft smoothly follows your hand's direction.
It's like you're pulling it through the air.
It is. But the third gesture is probably the most powerful for composing a shot. That's distance adjustment.
How does that work?
For this, you hold up both open palms facing the drone. The status light will flash blue twice to confirm it sees both hands.
2 flashes for 2 hands. Makes sense.
And then the control is just incredible. You move your hands closer together and the aircraft flies forward, tightening the shot.
Like a zoom.
Exactly, an organic zoom. Then you move your hands farther apart and the aircraft flies backward, widening the shot, all in real time.
So the subject can literally reframe their own shot on the fly. That's amazing. And how do you stop?
It's a simple, distinct move. You either make a fist or you just lower your arm. The drone exits gesture mode, the blue light goes out, and it just hovers in place, ready to continue from its new position.
Okay, so this all depends on the drone's vision system, which means the environment has to be right. You can't be doing this from across the field, right?
Absolutely not. The constraints are non-negotiable. The subject has to be fully and clearly visible, no obstructions, and you need to be in a very specific horizontal range, 2 to 5 meters.
That's roughly 6 to 16 feet. It's a pretty tight bubble.
It is. You step outside that bubble, and the recognition system will probably fail. And light is also a huge factor.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, you need appropriate lighting. The specs say between 5 and 100,000 lux. So basically not in very dim twilight and not in blinding direct noon sun. The computer vision can struggle in those extremes.
So once the shot is done, we've directed it perfectly, we have to land it. Let's cover the hands-free landing, the return to palm sequence.
The process is designed to be really smooth, but it does require some patience. First, you make sure the aircraft is hovering and stable.
Okay.
Then you, the user, face the drone with an extended, flat, steady palm, and you position it just below the drone's altitude. And then you just wait. It will descend and land right on your hand.
But what if it's a bit too far away, say 10 meters out? I don't want to have to walk towards it to land it.
There's a signal for that. You extend one arm straight out to your side. That's a distinct come here command. The drone will fly closer into that 2 to 5 meter range.
And once it's close enough?
You switch to the flat palm gesture, and it'll come down for a safe landing.
Okay, let's just hammer home the safety warnings here, because taking off and landing have very different rules for your hands.
It's vitally important. On takeoff, you grip the sides. For landing, you must not try to grab it the same way. Keep your palm flat and your fingers fully extended until the motors are completely off.
So you're preventing your fingers from curling up into the props as it lands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And motion is also a factor. Just like with takeoff, avoid landing while you are moving. Any drifting can confuse its sensors and lead to a failed or at least a very messy landing.
And try to be in a windless spot if you can.
If at all possible, yes.
So one last thing. What happens if the Neo 2 sort of loses its bearings? If the GPS fails or the lighting gets bad while it's in this hands-free mode?
It has a critical failsafe. If its main positioning system fails, it might enter what's called attitude mode. This is a more basic flight state where it can't hold a precise hover.
And what does it do?
In palm control mode, if it enters attitude mode, it will try to land automatically right where it is. That means the user has to be ready to intervene to make sure it comes down safely. It really forces you to be hyper-aware of your surroundings.
It's all part of the trade-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
This hands-free philosophy. It's a bold choice. It bridges that gap between, a high-end drone and a super smart autonomous flying camera.
What's fascinating is how the device retains this really high-level autonomy flying these complex paths, even when you've intentionally disconnected the main controller. It forces the interaction into this purely tactile, purely visual space.
It's a total shift in thinking for the casual creator. They're giving you cinematic results with the simplicity of a selfie stick.
But with the intelligence of a quadcopter, it's a powerful combination.
So let's end with this thought. Given that unique constraint, the 60-meter altitude limit, but that unlimited horizontal distance, think about the cinematic possibilities. What's the most creative, high-speed, side-to-side shot you could get? You could be running along a beach, using that two-palm gesture as a real-time zoom lever, adjusting the composition as you move, keeping the drone low, tracking you across this huge horizontal plane with nothing but your hands.
Exploring that low-altitude freedom is a really interesting challenge.
It's definitely something to mull over until our next deep dive.